What's up, good people? My YouTube family. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. Remember that commercial back in the day? Calgon, take me away. Well, that's the way I feel when I think about meat, cheese, and bread. It just kind of takes me away. Yeah, I know I'm not eating meat these days, but I still like it. I still think about it from time to time. And if they weren't doing so many cruel things to our foods, I'd probably still be eating it. But that's beside the point. If you stay here long enough with me, you'll see exactly where I take you with meat, cheese, and bread. That's for Jay. And of course, I got vegetables and cheese for me. One thing I love about prepping my mise en place is that it makes your cooking experience go so much easier. I have about 1.5 pounds of sliced portobello mushrooms that I'm going to allow the liquid to cook down. This is why I chose to cook each of my vegetables separately, because each of them holds so much liquid. Tell me these don't look damn good. I'm just going to place them on my plate so they could cool off, because I don't want it to melt the dough. Next, I'm going to saute my onions. And if you've been watching me in the past, you know that I like my vegetables al dente, and onions are one of them. So I don't like them too mushy, but I want my onions firm to the bite. And again, I'm going to put it on my plate so they can cool down along with the mushrooms. Next, let's saute some spinach. This is going to take all of 2-3 minutes tops. All you need to do is make sure your spinach is clean. Put it in a hot pan with just a touch of water, because spinach makes its own water. After it finishes cooking, you can strain it and squeeze out as much of the water as you possibly can. As promised, it's been about 3 minutes, and as you can see, I'm putting it in my strainer, and I'm going to take the back of my spoon and just press against the strainer to get out the majority, or as much water as I possibly can. And by the way, I forgot to tell you that I added about 4 minced cloves to the onions. Jay wanted ground beef in his Stromboli, but you can use whatever type of meat that you like. So I put a little bit of olive oil in my pan, and I'm adding the ground beef to it. Now this is about 1 pound, and this is going to be more than enough. I'm going to season it with his favorite seasoning, seasoned salt, cayenne pepper, regular pepper, until it becomes nice and brown. Once it's browned, I'm going to put it in a side plate so it could cool off, like I'm doing here. The phyllo dough comes in a package like this, and it usually have 2 sheets in it. So you're going to separate it by removing the paper. You're going to sprinkle just a little bit of flour so it doesn't stick to your surface. Now you can roll it out just a little bit to make it a smooth surface, like so. Right now I'm brushing the excess flour off of my dough. Now you don't really need as much flour as I have on it, so just a little bit will do. The ideal surface would be to lay it on parchment paper, but I didn't have any and I didn't realize that until it was too late. But since there's always more ways to skin a cat, I'm using aluminum foil. Okay, you ready to have some fun? What I'm doing now, I'm taking my paring knife and I'm cutting a little triangle out on either side of the dough to help fold it over the filling. What you want to avoid is the dough becoming too warm, so make sure you keep it in the refrigerator until it's time for you to use it. So above each triangle, I'm going to cut little slits, and then I'm going to turn the dough around on the opposite side and make the same amount of slits. These slits are going to be overlapped over the filling, and it's going to look like a braid. So right now I'm using Gruyere cheese, and I consider Gruyere cheese a sophisticated Swiss cheese with a little bit of a more nutty, more twangy type of taste. So remember those mushrooms and sauteed onions? Right now I'm putting roasted red peppers. You can use whatever fillings that you like because it's yours. You customize it to you. So right now I'm putting the spinach on. And if you remember, I chose to make each vegetable separately simply because I wanted to layer it just like I'm doing. So now I folded up that edge where I cut the two triangles out, and I'm overlapping each piece of dough on each side, just alternating, just like it's just that simple. Don't worry about perfection because once it starts to bake, it's going to look perfect anyway. So now that I have it all together, remember that egg wash I made earlier with a little bit of water and one egg? I'm brushing it all over the top like so. You don't want to put too much on it. That's why you add the water to the egg so it's not a cakey. You want it nice and light. And this is going to give our dough a nice, beautiful golden brown color. Okay, let's fill the meat. Now, if you look at the dough, you'll see how it's kind of stretched. This is what I was trying to explain to you that you want to avoid. This is because the dough has become warm. This is what we want to avoid. It's still going to be good, but I just want you to know that this is why it looks kind of straggly. Now, he has his ground meat, cheddar cheese, onions, red peppers, and I'm overlapping this as well. Same concept. We're going to put the egg wash on it, and we're going to also bake this in the oven for 25 minutes or until golden brown. So that's a little close up of how the dough looks with the egg wash on. This goes into the oven. I'm not prejudiced. I just like calling a spade a spade. These are gorgeous. I kept telling myself that something was missing from my salad, and I didn't realize what it was until I began to edit. And it was the tomatoes. But if you will, imagine a sliced tomato put in between each of my carrots. Would you look at this? This is definitely a meal fit for a queen, king, queen, and anyone in between. Look, I'm slicing it now. Yes, this is the meat or the meatless. Yes, oh my goodness, the dough is so flaky, so light, and so buttery, and I haven't even tasted it yet. But I can just imagine with all the good feeling inside. Good people, you've probably had a Stromboli a time or two in your lifetime. You usually get them in the pizza shop. A Stromboli ain't nothing but a sandwich, usually made out of pizza dough. But I just elevated the flavor with puff pastry and made it a sophisticated Stromboli. Trust me, this is good. It's delicious. It's wonderful. And don't you ever forget that the new sexy is being healthy, baby. Thanks for watching.